Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. Today we are we're doing the quest Between Sleep and Death. This is a level 94 Dawntrail tank roll quest. Tentoawa has a worried expression on his face. Oh, just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask you our advice on a certain matter if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loazenequi. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her, but we're still completely in the dark. I don't want her worried, but I don't know what to tell her. Good advice. As usual, I wish we had even a single thread to grasp. An unexciting letter is better than none at all. Alright, I'll start right away. I may not have much time left. Oh, don't misunderstand. It's nothing so grave as that. It's just the last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long until I must dream like any other. That will give Leofine free rein while I'm helpless in bed. There is no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. We've received reports that several groups of temple knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several, let me guess, they were all guarding someone else? You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail at even that most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in those most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any incident came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair the reputation in the days ahead, 'tis a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this passage bound leave me mystified. But Leofine was cunning. If nothing else, till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. Then you suggest she has greater purpose in mind for it, and these incidents are simply a prelude? We cannot discount that theory, I admit. We shall remain vigilant. There's no telling how much chaos she can sow if left unchecked. We have to do everything we can to get the cradle out of her clutches. To do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? I've wondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Fortemps. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofine doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps it makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. If we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has but recently been dispatched to Coerthis. You remember Gorgagne Mills? Yes? It has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. If you speak with Sir Redwald at Frey Falcon's Nest, I'm certain he'd be glad to have you along. Okay. Is it Mr. Soon I see? Of course, you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest, yet I believe I do not know your companion here. Indeed, whispers of the Temple Knight's humiliations have reached us even here. Falling asleep while on duty, I dare not believe the stories, but it seems there is truth in them after all. They fell asleep true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy yielding a powerful artifact. Now, the rumors failed to mention anything like that. If we can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always at the ready to take their place. As long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where hell from a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village? Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, and we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back, allow you to fight with abandon. Now, you believe this Leofine might take interest in our activities at Gorgagne Mills? The party has already left, accompanied by a group of temple knights. If your suspicions are correct, then they are at risk. I'd ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victims to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. We have to reach them before Leofine does. Come on. Well, it looks like we're too late. We're too late, they're fast asleep. But Redworld gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been the lookouts. We should waken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leofine. I'll rouse these ones. You search that building yonder. Who the hell are you? How'd you get past the guards? It's you. Think the fury you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck when our backs were turned. I assumed the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Sleeping? I've heard the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whoever's behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds and then finish our inspection here. I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. As I thought, just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among those slumbering knights. I had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself? Hand over the cradle now and I won't kill you. What did they call you again? The Wide-Eye? You must have had quite the journey to come this far. Be careful, this is our quarry. The thief who stole the cradle to Sleepless. This is Leofine. That is your ally? Where are their nimble hands? They may seek your artifact for themselves. Matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. Is the cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The code and rules that bind men are mere illusions. Open your eyes. Truly open them. You shall see a path of your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense? Perhaps I am here because of another, after all. Abyahi, who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to great power, yes, and now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet, truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, and usher the world into... well, what does it matter? Yeah, I do derive great pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights, and seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. If this artifact can hasten their fall from grace, I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall. And I won't abandon it. I'll take the cradle back. And then I'll sleep. Oh dear, you seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear me, but if you want your artifact back, I might suggest stealing it from me while I'm asleep. But considering the burden I have just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel absolutely transcendent. To think the shackles of fatigue weighed so heavily. Last, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I have learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it that this lot is disposed of. It is the least you can do for the freedom I have given you. Oh, come on, wake up. It looks like you saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Fast asleep just as we were. Could this be what Sir Bart warned us of in his report? I see. Then those stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there's some small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofine's arrogant voice. If she would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms, then she has fallen farther than I dared imagine. Yet we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and in so doing put innocent lives in danger. Another black mark on our order. 'Twas only thanks to you and your companions' efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him to the congregation. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. So glad I am to see you well. I understand you come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leofine. Master Tentoawa now rests on the second floor. We shall stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. There's another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to Gorgagne Mills, it seems there was another incident. A group of criminals were released from their cells. Their guards found in a deep sleep. Doubtless Leofine was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians who clashed with were these self-same criminals. Leofine is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side, and using this animosity to her advantage. We now know for certain that Leofine is the mastermind of these attacks, and that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights. Our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, 'twas decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distrust. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's sake, or Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofine before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tentoawa slumbers, it falls to us to search for clues that might point towards her whereabouts. And so that was the level 94 role quest, Between Sleep and Death. Thank you for joining us here today for this little video here on YouTube. Hopefully we'll see you again either for another video here on YouTube, or maybe one of our many streams over on Twitch where we stream daily. Till then though, have a wonderful rest of your day.